What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at a team that went 15-0 for me in the Open Great League. This was the first time that I'd ever ran Morpeko, and I didn't drop a single game until the 16th game, so I was very impressed with what Morpeko can do. I didn't really have last season to compare it to besides the videos that I watched, but man, it put in a ton of work for me on this team. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the team. Morpeko, of course, on the lead. As my closer, I am running Jumpluff, Fairy Wind, Aerial Ace, and Energy Ball. I don't think you necessarily need Acrobatics. You could run it. I don't think there's that much of a difference, but Aerial Ace does sim better. As my stay swap, I am running Diggersby. Diggersby, of course, is just incredibly strong. It always has been, but now it's even more strong with the Fire Punch buff. Fire Punch now doing a little bit more damage. And of course, it gets to those Scorching Sands. It has enough bulk that's able to get to them consistently and have that 33% chance of dropping your opponent's attack as well, which can really help Morpeko with a farm down. Let's go ahead and get into some of these battles. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and let me know how your season's going so far. Alright, into the first one. Morpeko up against a Bibarel. So that is a great lead for me. I'm not going to throw at bad timing, so they could throw before I throw, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm okay with giving up a shield to have extra energy on Morpeko, because Morpeko's energy is like almost always good. Because of, guess what? If there's a ground type, that's fine. I'm turning into a dark type right now, and I'm going to have a dark type Aura Wheel to throw and just destroy. Instead, they come in with a Primeape after sacking their Bibarel. And that's fine too. I can throw the Psychic Things to grab a shield. I'm hoping to make another one, and it looks like I would. So my opponent is forced to dump energy. This will be a resisted Rage Fist, but one more Karate Chop will take out my Morpeko. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to come in now with Jumpluff. They're going to respond with a Galarian Corsola. Very cool pick, but I have a hard wall here with Diggersby, absolutely walling all of its energy. And that's going to be GG's. Alright, into the Morpeko Mirror. So here's what I do every single time. I do 5 Thunder Shocks and I go for the catch. Because of Jumpluff and Diggersby both do have good matchups into Morpeko. And if I can catch and waste their energy, then that's just even better. Plus I have 5 Thunder Shocks of an energy lead on my Morpeko into whatever comes in right here. It's going to end up being an Azumarill. They did bake some energy on their Morpeko before leaving, which I think is a great play. And I don't really have a great chance of flipping this. Maybe if I get the first attack drop, I could try to flip this, but that's not really my strategy here. My strategy here is just to always remain ahead on energy, and just play flexibly, right? I have flexible Pokemon. I have 2 ways to handle this Azumarill, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, leave some HP on my Diggersby, and go for this Aura Wheel before they make their next Ice Beam or Play Rough. Now they come in with their own Morpeko. And I'm not sure if I would survive this Aura Wheel. It would be pretty close. It doesn't one-shot. It is resisted damage. It would have been pretty close. So I decided to go ahead and throw up a shield since I have so much energy. I'm going to throw my own, hoping that they call the bait, and they do. We take out theirs, and at this point, all they have left is this Goodra. I can just go ahead and throw Psychic Fangs because of they have to shield, number 1, and they can never clear that debuff as well. So now I can come in with my Jumpluff. I just need to make sure that I don't get hit with like a Sludge Wave or a Draco Meteor, but they didn't build up to either of those. So this is just going to be a Thunder Punch. We're going to go for the Aerial Ace. This is definitely a scenario where Acrobatics would be better, because if you could just go straight Acrobatics, and Acrobatics would actually one-shot. Whereas Aerial Ace doesn't really put them in Fairy Wind down range despite the defense drop. So I am going to have to shield up this second Thunder Punch, but then I can just build to the back-to-back Aerial Aces. They're not at a third Thunder Punch, and even if they were, I think I'd barely survive it and still get off this Aerial Ace. It'd be pretty close. Regardless, doesn't matter. They're not there, and that's going to be GG's. Well played. Into the next one, up against a Shadow Jumpluff lead. So this is not the greatest for Morpeko. Of course, we're doing neutral damage, but we're taking super effective from the fast move Fairy Wind, and the Fairy Winds are definitely chipping away faster than my Thunder Shocks. Still, my opponent goes straight for the Aerial Ace, so I'm able to just no shield there. I do pause here, and then I still throw. I don't know. I need to work on it. Obviously, you could tell it was dark here, so I started playing some battles in the middle of the night. I should mention this, just full disclosure. The 15-0, 9 of those wins was in my stream that I played with this team. I'll link that stream up here if you want to watch how I played that live. And then the next 4 battles, next set, I played 4 battles. Those were all wins. And the 5th one, I did finally end up dropping. So it was a 4-0 to end it out. These battles are from that 4-1. And then from an additional set that I played after that. So these ones are at nighttime. That's because of, well, not necessarily nighttime, but I was up early. And so I played them whenever I first woke up because I wanted to be able to get this video recorded and out that same day. All right. Oh, and if you're wondering, that was a 4-1 set as well. All right, here comes another Bibarel. We are going to go ahead and fire off this Scorching Sands here. Here's the thing. I don't think this thing is as good as it's been hyped up to be. Because like we get that attack drop and guess what? Now we're surviving 2 surfs. And they're getting close to Fire Punch range. I'm going to throw the Scorching Sands right now because if I want to take them out before the surf, I need the Scorching Sands. But, I mean, maybe Fire Punch would have done it from there. I think it would have. I go for the catch instead. We do get the catch successfully. I come in with the Morpeko. They come in with Jump Bluff. I might as well throw this immediately. It's not going to quite KO anyways, so I'm looking to boost my attack. We do just that, and I'm going to be able to make it now to this Psychic Fangs. So this Psychic Fangs going to be grabbing my opponent's final shield. Otherwise, the Jump Bluff would go down. Now I'm going to come in with my Diggersby. If they full send here, I should be able to just quick attack down, and they do. They full send, so now I can just quick attack down before they make another energy ball. They do make a move here just to scare me a little bit, but I know that was only 4 fairy winds. That's going to be just an aerial ace, and I have the back-to-back Scorching Sands. One is going to take out the Bibarel, and the second one will be taking out their Diggersby, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played. My opponent actually just concedes the match there. They knew it was over. So yes, GG's well played to my opponent. Let's go. All right, into the next one, Morpeko. Into another Bibarel. Like, there's so many. There's so many that people are running. There was a lot of hype into it. Now, I immediately recognized that I'm pretty sure I've seen this pairing, right? I'm pretty sure this is the Home Slice Henry team. Though I might be blurring some lines here. You know, Home Slice has put out a lot of content, and I've watched a lot of his content the last few days, so maybe not. But regardless, Home Slice was running Ice Punch on his... what is this Pokemon? Primate. It was running Ice Punch, so since my opponent farmed past the Rage Fist there, I do respect the Ice Punch. Ends up being another Rage Fist. And now they build up to the back-to-back Rage Fist. They're at 8 Karate Chops, but I'm going to be able to CMP them here. I can go ahead and shield in case it is the Ice Punch to keep switch. And I can take out this Primate. Now I have a lot of HP still on my Jump Bluff, so if they come back in with the Bibarel, I'm going to be able to hit them with an Energy Ball. We're going to be able to, well, okay. So I was able to reach at the same time, not outpace. It would have been a CMP, and I didn't think Jump Bluff was going to win that. So I don't throw immediately, but they actually end up banking their energy. They come out with Corsola, and again, we have a Diggersby. So that's where Diggersby's like really just shining on this team. Morpeko has a great matchup into Corsola. Diggersby has an even better matchup. Jump Bluff does have a losing matchup there. But, you know, I mean, it's neutral. Neutral-esque, right? They have Power Gem, which definitely can nuke if they connect with it. Anyways, into the next one. Drapion on the lead. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the first Aura Wheel. I didn't want them to catch, so I do overform by a little bit. Yes, I missed out on a little bit of Thunder Shock damage, but I'm not too stressed about that. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to need to get to a ground move on Diggersby. Anyways, I don't think I was ever going to put them into comfortable Fire Punch range. And they decide to go ahead and let the second Aura Wheel go, which takes out their Shadow Drapion, even though it's resisted. And that's just how nasty Morpeko is. I come in with Malamar. All I get is a few Thunder Shocks here. I didn't really want to hard swap Diggersby since then they could superpower and dip, and I would be kind of playing a baiting game. I'd much rather have my Jump Bluff on this, doing super effective damage with the Fairy Winds, and hopefully putting them into Energy Ball range eventually. Now they come out with a Shadow Drifloon. Now this is pretty scary for me, but I am very thankful that they let me get a nice energy head start. So I'm going to fire off the first Aerial Ace. Really surprised that they did not shield the first Aerial Ace there. Wouldn't have really mattered, except for they actually don't shield the second one either. And now I'm like, okay, you know what? I've got play again. I've got play. I'm going to go ahead and shield this up. I'm going to overfarm. And I should be able to make it to 2 aerial aces before they make their next icy wind, I believe. So they decided to go ahead and let that go. Now I'm going to go ahead and bank another aerial ace and come in with my Diggersby. Why? Because they're going to have to drop their defense and definitely give up their shield in order to take out my Diggersby. So at that point, the aerial ace should be enough to take out their Malamar. Now, I don't know who wins CMP. I'm assuming Malamar does win CMP against Jumpluff. So there is a small chance that they can play this extremely well, superpower my Diggersby, and have a foul play ready to go for my Jumpluff. However, I do get the attack drop from my Scorching Sands, and at this point the game is just over. They are forced to throw a second superpower right there, and now the aerial ace is definitely going to take out, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. Let's go into the next battle, up against a Pangoro. Now it's like, oh, well, that's a core breaker and a half. Yeah, I am ABA to fighting. Not something I really paid attention to when I put this team together, but I am. By the way, I was originally running Shadow Electivire on this team, and it went horribly. Like, Shadow Electivire is up there in the rankings. It's like top 50 in the rankings. It went horribly. Anyways, I have to settle for another Psychic Fangs here, but my opponent CMP'd me, and it seems like they lost track of counts because they do throw up their shield there. So now I have a 2 shield advantage. I'm perfectly happy to let this Morpeko go. My opponent is dry on energy, and I'm just going to get a nice Fairy Wind down right here. They're going to throw the close combat, which is going to limit my farm just slightly. Maybe I would have got one more Fairy Wind. I don't know for sure. Doesn't really matter. We have a very healthy Jumpluff and a very healthy Diggersby, and my opponent doesn't want to play anymore, and that's going to be GG's. Well played. All right, into the next one. A Nightmare lead with my opponent running Diggersby. They're going to swap out into an Azumarill to answer my Diggersby. Again, if I do get the first Scorching Sands attack drop, then I do have a chance of flipping this. I don't see it, so I'm perfectly content with just soft losing this matchup and hoping that my Jumpluff can do something in game. Opponent already showing that they're ABA to Jumpluff. Azumarill not the worst into it because it does have the double super effective Ice Beam. So I'm hoping maybe it's like a double water strat or something that I can play around. I'm going to go ahead and let this next Ice Beam come through. It will be enough to take out my Diggersby. They hard swap out into their Diggersby. So now I'm able to align my Jumpluff on their Diggersby, but that kind of tells me they might have another answer for my Morpeko, which is pretty spooky as well. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this energy ball. I mean, regardless, I'm forced to come in here with the Jumpluff. I could never stay in against the Diggersby with my Morpeko. I could have stayed in and tried to like catch a Scorching Sands, but at the end of the day, giving them that big energy lead was just not a win con for me. So I'm going to be forced to throw up a shield here on this Fire Punch. My Jumpluff is getting quite low. They come out with a Drapion. So again, opponent hard swapping, and that might give me a little bit of play. Now this is going to be an Aqua Tail. We know we survived that perfectly fine. They didn't build up to the Sludge Bomb. And even if they did, I would have just had to make a call. So I'm going to go ahead and CMP them on this next Aqua Tail. They decide to let it go. Morpeko is going to boost its attack. Out comes the Azumarill. I do 2 Thunder Shocks. I was really expecting the Diggersby to come out, and so I was thinking I needed to build up to the Dark Aura, but instead it's the Azumarill. And now we only give them 1 quick attack here. We only give them 1 quick attack. I would have much rather got the Psychic Fangs off into this, but that's perfectly fine. We give them 1 quick attack, very minimal farm. I go for the double bait right here. Aerial Ace number 2 grabs the second shield. Now the race is on. Can I make the energy ball before they make the double Fire Punch? They are there now. And Jumpluff is very bulky, but you know who is bulkier? That's going to be a Diggersby. We're going to get this energy ball off on the CMP tie, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Could not have been closer. I don't think my opponent jumping around was necessarily a bad play because like Drapion's not bad into Morpeko, but I think they should have brought the Drapion into my Morpeko. Maybe, I don't know. Hard to say. All right, into the next one. We are able to catch. Well, we end up catching a Psychic Fangs on our Diggersby this time, and then they're going to try to catch. They bring out a Talonflame, and that's a little bit spooky, but I'm very happy to lure it out here and not see it on my Jumpluff. Yes, we're doing mostly resisted damage besides our quick attacks, but Jumpluff just has a much worse time. Now they have to Brave Bird to pick up the KO, and actually it doesn't quite do that. So now I'm hoping that this Scorching Sands is going to threaten a shield or take out, and it's just shy. If I would have done my second quick attack, then it would have been enough to KO, but we would have been relying on DRE, which is a very inconsistent mechanic. So now when they come back in with their Morpeko, I'm going to be throwing my Aura Wheel. And I'm still very healthy. So I decided to go ahead and no-shield here in case they throw another Psychic Fangs bait. And even if it's not, guess what? We survive it. Not well, but we do survive it. Now I'm going to come in with my Jumpluff. They're getting close to Aerial Ace range, but they're not quite there. I am going to go ahead and throw up a shield, and we get baited with the Psychic Fangs, which feels bad. And I was 99% confident that they did not have enough energy right here for the Aura Wheel, but I really just couldn't risk it. So I end up throwing up the shield. I'm at the back-to-back Aerial Aces. Let's just get this thing out of here. Aerial Ace does take out, and in the back, going to be an Azumarill. And I'm realizing now I had a big old lapse of judgment because I forgot that I was 2 stages debuffed. I should have just cleared it. If I clear that debuff, I win this. Because if Ice Beam does 52%, I believe, it does a little bit over half, even though it's double super effective. I could have made the Aura Wheel, cleared my debuff, and got the Energy Ball off. And we would have had a 16-game win streak. We would have! But I blew it. I blew it. Is what it is. You can see the 15 win streak there on screen. Yeah, I had a ton of fun with this team. I do recommend it. Of course, it is ABA to fighters. That's the only real weakness. But even then, like a Annihilate, or a Primeape, rather, it kind of relies on its Ghost type move to start boosting its attack. So it's not that strong into Diggersby unless it just close combats and dips. So I think you still have some play into the main fighters with this team. If you're looking for a strong team that's a lot of fun to play, I do recommend this team. I'll probably run it a little bit more as the season goes on to see how it plays out once we actually get ELO. But it worked really well for me in these. How many sets did I play? I guess 3 plus. Yeah. So I played 3 plus 1, so 4 sets. I played one more, and that was also a 3-2. And that was at the end of the day today. So anyways, I definitely recommend this team. I'm going to wrap it up here before I start repeating myself. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.